Anna Rook is in her late 20s and has a severe anxiety disorder that impacts her life in many ways. The only person she relies on is her elder brother, Conrad, who is dying of pancreatic cancer. They have no family besides each other, which is why Conrad is always worried about his sister. Moreover, the siblings hide deep secrets in different corners of the house and are always wary of who they let inside. One night, we see Anna playing with an old key alone in her room. Suddenly, she hears a strange noise coming from the dark, but it turns out to be Conrad sitting outside. He calls her to join him, but Anna rudely declines. The truth is that she hasn't left the house in over 10 years because of her anxiety disorder. The next morning, they are joined by Conrad's lawyer, Charlotte. She has been called to discuss Conrad's will and what Anna will get after his death, but Anna is not ready to have that conversation yet. Then, we are introduced to Dan, a delivery guy who brings food for the family every morning. Other than Conrad, Dan is the only person Anna enjoys talking to. He is kind and has won her heart over the course of time he has been working for them. As they chat, they hear a loud thud from Conrad's room. Anna rushes to her brother and puts him back on the bed. They spend the entire day together, talking about different things. Conrad brings up the topic of their father and asks Anna to forgive him, but it only makes her angry. A few hours later, Anna is woken up by her care alarm ringing. She runs to Conrad's room and finds him dead. Despite knowing that this was bound to happen, nothing in the world could have prepared Anna for her brother's death. After the paramedics take his body away, she cleans up the entire house and gets rid of all of his medicine. When Anna is at her lowest, Dan comes to her aid and lends her a shoulder to cry on. He suggests she sell the house and move somewhere else, but Anna is too connected to the house to leave it. As they chat, Dan reveals that he wants to get out of this town, but isn't financially able to do so. Anna abruptly leaves and returns a few minutes later with a bag full of money. She wants him to take it and make a better life for himself. Dan, however, refuses to accept it, even though Anna insists that she has more money than she needs. The next day is the day of the funeral. Anna gets ready to leave, but her anxiety gets the best of her at the last moment. She desperately wants to say a final goodbye to her brother, but ends up staying home, drowning in her thoughts. Suddenly, a car stops outside, and 3 men approach her house. They look through the window to ensure no one is home, looking to rob the place. Anna panics, but before she thinks of calling someone, one of the guys, named JP, breaks the back door and lets the other 2 in. JP seems to be the leader, while his brother Vance and friend Perry are his accomplices. The robbers are under the impression that Anna is at the funeral, but the kettle makes a noise and makes her presence evident. She quickly runs upstairs while the guys start looking for her all around the house. Perry finds her hiding in the bathroom, making her run downstairs. Before he catches up to her, Anna gets to the front door. She can easily run outside and save her life, but she freezes because of her anxiety. JP carefully closes the door and asks her why she didn't escape. She also had a chance to call the police when she was hiding upstairs, but she didn't. The truth is, it's because she's dumb. The guys think it is strange, but all they care about is the money she is hiding somewhere in the house. JP and his brother Vance continue looking for the money, while Perry keeps an eye on Anna. She tells him about her anxiety and how she hasn't stepped out of the house for over a decade. Perry is fascinated by her and wants to check if she is telling the truth for his own entertainment. He forcefully pulls her outside, causing her to pass out. When JP picks her up to help her, Anna wets herself. Vance is asked to take her to her room and get her cleaned, as the other 2 search for the bag of money. They ultimately find a basement with 2 doors without handles. The doors surely lead somewhere, but are impossible to open. It is clear that either Conrad or Anna wanted to keep these rooms a secret. Meanwhile, Vance is trying to get Anna to change. He is the weakest link among the 3 and is not willing to hurt someone for money. Anna also notices this and tries to convince him to help her. She manages to convince him to some extent, but he eventually realizes what she is doing. In a fit of rage, he forcefully tries to make her change, but is stopped when the delivery guy Dan arrives. He was at Conrad's funeral and has come to check up on Anna because she wasn't there. Anna is thankful that she finally has someone to help her until Dan calls Vance by his name, revealing that they are friends. She realizes that Dan is also with the robbers and loses her mind. She runs downstairs and hides somewhere away from the robbers. JP and Perry get to Dan and knock him out, revealing that he is in fact not a part of their group. After a few minutes of searching for Anna, Perry loses patience and tries to kill Anna's pet bird if she doesn't show herself. Anna remains hidden, causing Perry to hammer the poor bird to death. By now, Dan is woken up, but JP ties his hands and pushes him onto the couch. While the robbers are busy with him, Anna runs to the bathroom but makes noise while doing so. Vance is about to catch her when Anna stabs his neck, killing him on the spot. The other two are still with Dan, but the strange silence makes them believe something is wrong. They ask Vance to say something, only to hear the sound of Anna dragging his body to the basement. Soon, they locate the bloodstains on the floor and follow them to find Vance's dead body. JP holds his brother and cries, promising to avenge his death, but no one cares. The mission turns into much more than just a robbery for the surviving duo. Just then, Perry notices Anna behind a door, but she locks it before he gets in. After that, she runs into her room and brings out the key she was playing with at the beginning of the film. The key is then used to open a console that consists of a lever. Upon pulling it, the stairs to the basement retract, trapping Perry and JP inside. Anna checks on them to make sure that they cannot get outside. Some time passes, and the robbers try to break the doors in the basement to get out, but it has been made to withstand any force. Outside, Dan reveals that he is friends with Vance and had told him about the money yesterday. He feels awful for doing so because he didn't know it would lead robbers into her house. Anna still refuses to untie his hands and asks him about Conrad's funeral. He tells her how it went and inquires about what Conrad would have done in a situation like this. Anna thinks about it for a while before breaking his finger and bringing him to the basement door. Since the stairs are missing, he is standing at the edge of the wall. Anna asks him to prove his innocence by jumping into the basement, and when he refuses, she pushes him herself. Damn, Anna is hard. Dan cries in pain, holding his dislocated knee. Anna then enters a hidden cabinet that shows her live footage of the basement. A while later, she comes to check up on them, and JP tortures Dan in hopes that she will feel sympathetic. Anna tells them to use the first aid kit that is inside one of the two locked rooms with no door handles. This time, JP can open one of the doors because Anna has changed the settings from upstairs. However, as soon as he enters the room, she presses a button and he is locked inside. JP finds it extremely strange because the room looks identical to the one he had seen upstairs. In the meantime, Perry tries to break the second door and is successful after many attempts. He finds a freezer and opens it to see dead bodies inside. Shocked to the core, Perry runs outside and comes face to face with Anna. Now that he has seen things he shouldn't have, she cannot let him live. She hits him with a hammer to his head. The man is about to strangle her to death before he loses too much blood and dies. Outside, Dan manages to move into the second room and sees the dead bodies, realizing that something is very wrong. At the same time, Charlotte comes to check up on Anna because she hasn't been picking up her calls. Anna pretends like everything is fine and makes up an excuse for the noise coming from the basement. Charlotte doesn't think much of it and leaves after making sure Anna is okay. After her departure, Anna goes to the basement and finds Dan by the freezer. She puts him inside a cupboard, which leads him into the room where JP is locked. The room has a one-way mirror that she uses to keep an eye on them. JP figures this out and tries to break it, but Anna informs him that the glass is bulletproof. She then makes him wear a shirt out of a cupboard. It turns out that Conrad and Anna used to drug men and lock them inside this room. Then, Conrad joined the victims through the cupboard and tortured them while Anna watched through the mirror. JP wants to know the reason they replicated the room and whose shirt he is wearing. It is then revealed that Anna's father used to assault her even when she was a child. Then, one day, Conrad strangled their father to death and became her hero. Ever since then, they have been luring registered sexual predators into the house and killing them. Anna believes that they did the right thing because offenders deserved the punishment, but according to JP, both she and her brother are psychopaths. They got high from killing their father and wanted to relive the moment again and again. Anna loses her mind at the accusations and provides Dan with a gun to kill JP. She wants him to pay for his deeds and thinks she is helping him by doing so. JP pushes Dan aside and gets a hold of the gun. He gets ready to kill Dan, but Anna stops him, urging him to commit the unthinkable. She blames him for his brother's death and declares that death is the only way for his salvation. Initially, JP seems to be giving in to her demands, but he comes back to his senses and points the gun at Dan again. Seconds before he is shot, Anna opens the door and lets them out. JP helps Dan get inside of the house, but he isn't ready to run away yet. He looks at Vance's dead body, filled with rage and a will to take revenge. Dan tries to convince him to let it all go, but all he gets for it is a punch in the face. JP goes back in and starts pouring gasoline around the house. Anna brings him the bag full of money, hoping to send him away with it, but he refuses to take it and attacks her. In an ensuing struggle, Anna manages to run upstairs, but JP catches her and claims that he has an idea. He wants her to relive the bad memories she shared with her father by assaulting her. The fact that he is wearing her father's shirt makes it even worse for Anna. Just then, Dan comes into the room, and Anna takes advantage of the distraction to shoot JP dead. Silence prevails as both Dan and Anna look at the dead body, realizing that there is no one likable in this movie. They go downstairs, and Dan leaves without saying a word. Anna stays in the living room for about an hour before she finally decides to step out of the house. At last, she has left her fear of detachment behind and can exist outside of the house without hyperventilating. Oh goody, now she can be a serial killer for real. In the final scene, she lights the house on fire and walks away.